concentration. Hello everybody, welcome to the world of Warships. We'll take a look at Kongō. She is my most favorite and beloved ship in this entire game that's currently available to us, and historically the most useful to the Japanese Imperial Navy. She was everywhere. She was from the First World War to the end of the Second World War. She was reconstructed few times, first to the battle cruiser, then into battleship, and now with this version it should be the fast battleship. Unfortunately they got rid of the torpedoes, because that would be seriously funny if they keep them on the deck somewhere here. Everything about this ship is iconic. When she was built she was the best. When she died she was destroyed she was the first battleship destroyed by submarine, and she was also the last ship destroyed by submarine in history. What I love most is that because she's not that heavy, they managed to keep the slim shape of the hull, and it makes it really nice looking and perfect in every way. But let's stop here, let's go look at the modules first. The upgrades for the gun, slight improvements in rate of fire and damage done, also the 100-degree turn, they are not that important, as well as the hull or the aiming. They are just small bonuses. The must need and the most important is the propulsion. It was fast ship after all, and the maneuverability is really the big strength of this ship. For the upgrades, I think the main battery modification is the best one. I encountered mostly problems with my guns being destroyed. The AI guns or secondary battery, they were never damaged, not even once. Main battery I lose maybe 1 in 3 games, I lose them before I die. Turning time, that's definitely my thing. I love the improving the turning times of it, that you can actually use the maneuverability for your more. The secondary betterment is maybe the secondary choice. It's nice to have the range and accuracy on the cruiser and battleships, but it will not prevent them to launch torpedoes. It's usually around the range where they can successfully hit you. So you have much more success with your guns because you're going to use your guns in every game. Instead of the secondary, they might be used only maybe half of times or in the end of the game. For the damage, the propulsion and maneuver steering is it's really bad you get, but you're mostly going to be in flooding and on fire. So decreasing those two is more, I would guess it's more important than that. So now let's look at some replays that I will comment and tell you something about what I did and why. At the start of the battle, even it's painful, maybe no one goes there, or you want to support your people in the area closer to the big island where it's the big number of small islands. Don't go there. Even no one goes there. If you go there as a battleship, then destroyers and torpedo bombers will love you there. You cannot do anything, and it's mostly waste of the battleship. At this range, if you aim, use the maximum range of the horizontal axis. That's enough. That's where the shots will land. In the future, it's going to change with bigger battlefields, but in this battle and usually at these starts, this is where you need to aim. Already switching to AB, because I can see that the battleships are heading there where I'm going, so I'm not sure that I will use the AP. And we have their smaller ships that will deal with their small ships. Sometimes if you go there, if the battleships are only thing that goes up, or is in forward, then keeping the hit is more beneficial, because you're definitely going to meet destroyers and cruisers first. Yes, the spread on the guns and this distance is obviously high, but the range shouldn't be that problem if their way is predictable like this. If they fire at you, then making little adjustment in course is enough to avoid all of their shots. Yes, you can see he turned a little bit to right. Most likely watched us from the distance. And it seems that now when I'm watching it, almost all of them went here. I don't know, I don't have range on him, so I try shoot this guy. He's turning, so I go for the close aiming. And when he turns, then it's kind of hard to predict where to shoot, but you shoot at him directly. Smoke is definitely bad. That was friendly, so it's okay, but if it's done by the enemy, then the torpedoes can just maybe it's a bad rendering that they appear just right in front of you, even if there's this distance between you and the smoke being deployed. If you're turning left and right, then you need to pre-aim there. You will turn your ship faster than the turrets. And obviously turning left into this mess wouldn't be great. So I can see one lonely battleship, and I will support my small guys here. Picking off targets is very valuable for victory. It will take some time for the guys up there to move anywhere, because all our ships are in cover or out of their range. And if we destroy this guy, then we have nice flanking maneuver on them. Checking the map. Usually good to use your maneuvers, those automatic ones, and change your corrections only if you really need. Definitely check for planes. When the A starts, it's usually too late to check what's going to be targeted. And the Kongō is really nice ship. Love those planes burning and falling down. Even if you are a battleship, you need support of your friends, especially against smaller ships that will definitely can easily kill you. The destroyers are devastating too if you're alone, because the fire rate on you is not that high. Yes, I saw these torpedoes. It was obvious when you're going to launch them. If you cannot avoid the hits, then limit the number of torpedoes that can hit you. I was surprised that that my gun was damaged. AP shell went through the ship, no problem.
Enemy destroyer blown up. Scout returning.
And even without going here to the small space, we managed to secure our flank.
We destroyed an enemy battleship.
Didn't know if I should turn left or right right now, because the islands. But right is good. Get closer to our friends, air carriers that need help in a very short time. As you can see, the turning of the turrets is really long. So if you're planning on turning somewhere, then start aiming your guns before your turn. Yes, cannot aim that in front of them, so I'm using as much as I can. Delete. Torpedoes. Yes. When you know where they are, then occasionally check them. Maybe every 2-3 seconds. At least on the map, on the minimap. Situation is nice. It looked bad at the first, but by assessing the situation, you can see that we are going definitely in better position than the enemy. It's just that we are closer to each other, and with their losing the battleship, I think the battleship died to torpedoes. There wasn't any damage on him. It didn't look like he was at all damaged. So that was very nice of our carrier. He's turning, yes. Slight turns at this distance are enough. Predicting the turn is maybe the hardest. And the spread definitely doesn't help it. Oh, torpedoes everywhere. And hit plus torpedoes. He's not having a good day. For the elevation of the guns, I find out it's best to aim at the hull of the ship. With the destroyers, I'm usually aiming at the top or deck. Maybe that's going to change with different guns, but at least for the classes as battleship and cruisers, that's working for still working for me. And now it's only hunter remaining ones. And you will see that even with these numbers, and they're having only one carrier and one ship, the victories are not that decisive, not predictable. You should really watch out. Shouldn't now rush or anything. We're keeping together to kill as many of their planes as we can. At first fired AP, there wasn't no hits, but in a different game I managed to... At this distance the shell falls from the top down, so it just destroyed everything in the carrier, because it hit the top deck and then just went down, as you can see at this range. But you shouldn't really count on that, so switching to the heat ammunition definitely will be much more efficient. And setting deck on fire of carrier means that he cannot launch or the planes cannot land on him. Torpedoes launched. trying to avoid. I think that was definitely something wrong with the damage, because he was almost full health and he was hit by a single torpedo. So I think that was actual bug. He ever mentioned that in the chat that it was 50,000 damage. I think that it was correct. It was single torpedo, 50,000 damage. It's still in beta, so the matchmaking maybe suffers the most than actual problems in the game. On fire, cannot use anything. Still watching for the torpedoes, especially for the ones that are coming from the other carrier. Also, you can see that the shells, because the carrier has the holes, they kind of go through. That's actually funny. Yes. Be sure that you know where the end of the game is, end of the map. It screws me over because time from time, especially when I'm trying to evade destroyers. Usually I run out of the map and then they just torpedoed me. And yes, here they come. I know I cannot avoid them, because my speed was too big and the angle wasn't great for me. But those torpedoes cannot sink me. With this spread, they are not being dropped manually, so automatic ones will take multiple numbers of them. And now it's to hunt the last carrier in the corner of the map. And it's always fun to watch the planes being shut down. Being in the corner map at this stage of the game, okay, if you're running from it and starting to get as much time as you can, maybe you would do better if you try to sneak in between the islands. It's questionable. I have games when we have only carriers in carrier and the enemy was trying to hunt us and we managed to kill them. They were close actually winning this with those torpedoes. He focused the carriers. If he focused me, then who knows. But I wanted to say that being last in carrier, there's no point in it. You should definitely keep close with your friends. And here it was. It wasn't that different from my usual games. When you know what you're doing, then you will have very nice times in battleships, especially with the damage done. Here, one more game. It's going to be short. I will end it prematurely because of the events that happened. This time we were on the other side. It didn't went smoothly as usual. Unfortunately, no one was keeping the same speed as I did. This guy, I didn't know what he's doing. I don't know if he stopped or if he was going. It was weird. Still don't know if he's moving or not. The shells miss barely. It was like all around him, everywhere. Oh yes, there they are. I wouldn't hit the battleship because the range wasn't enough, so I tried to shoot at the guy that looked like he's stuck at the island. But the window for fire wasn't that big, so it went over. Oh, and of course here they come. The torpedoes. You can see when they drop that they do this weird movement. Sometimes you can evade at this range. I maybe did better if I tried to turn left. But who knows? Maybe I would get more of them. Sometimes usually different things work for different times. Sometimes if you know that you're going to drop those torpedoes, then slow down and start turning, or slow down and then when they drop, then start turning. Also, this time the enemy went pushing near the islands, and you can see that with only just 2 people there, that it's not going to that well for them, because there are obvious ways where they're going to be facing. You cannot really turn there. Destroyers are okay because that must be the playground for them. But for bigger ships, it's not. Yes, I was watching if you're going to hit the end of the map. Yeah, but now I realized that if you hit the end of the map, you're not going to stop, or it's not like the wall. It's you're going to the ship is going to slide on some of the sides, and more he's in angle, then more he's going to slide. So you need to watch for that if you're trying to shoot him. Those torpedoes, they've been very far. No problems there, and the angle was really horrible. They drop all of them, so it's not that easy for him to evade, but it's destroyer. It's destroyer, and no, it was cruiser, but still it's almost the same situation at this tier. Torpedoes should be always from the side or angle. Man, smoke is amazing. Every time when I shoot, I instead of watching the enemy, I'm watching the ship fire.
Scout returning.
Yes, there's focusing carriers. Right now, okay, if the battleship didn't focus the carrier, but there are 2 other battleships next to him. I have games when the battleship just went focus on the carrier, and all other ships fire him from our direction, and he just keep going, and it cost us the game. Tunnel visioning on the carrier because he thinks it's an easy kill, but he didn't kill him and we lost.
Enemy aircraft carrier sunk.
Always watching those little buggers. They played their little walking around or turning around too long, so I knew that they have a bad angle on me. Mostly because they were from the sunk ship, so they've been in manual, no, in automatic. That's also what I'm doing when I'm about to sunk. I issue orders. Mostly I place my fighters on top of the battleship and torpedoes on some valuable targets. They're going to drop those even when you are dead. And I thought this will go so well. Right now I thought that we really cannot be in that danger. That our ships will just corner them. But situation evolves fast. One torpedo squadron is okay, but two are really overkill. The best I did was evade completely 3 torpedo squadrons at the same time, but the 4th I was too slow to do anything, so I eat almost all the torpedoes. Angle wasn't great, and with the other one the angle was the same, so not brilliant. And not no problem for me. And with the other new ship getting here, I knew I need to get out of there. I would win this fight with those two, but I wasn't sure that my friends can win the other day over there on the other side. So I wouldn't be able to win the game anyway. Especially when one of the battleships in the distance is it's almost dead. And the target appears right in front of me. Yes, that's the battleship in the... That was the one in the distance, I think. Those were very, very lucky shots from him. It's the secondary. And very, very lucky shots from the cruiser. But you can see that you'll need every health, a little bit health to the main battery. And the repair time on them as well. And this one was very scary. I knew he will definitely go for the ram at this health. I would do the same. And at the last moment,
We destroyed an enemy battleship.
maybe just for saying, if you're in the carrier and you're last of the game, or in the last of the 4-3, and you're fighting for your life, and then instead of overrunning, ram them. Aim at the target has most health, maybe always the slowest one, and ram them. It's a fun, and you are a carrier. Who can blame you for ramming someone? It's not really suiciding. You both get some points. I would win this fight, but I forgot about the torpedoes. I hope that he will go somewhere else, but unfortunately it didn't end up that way. And this time he learned his lesson and launched his torpedoes actually perfectly. Not managed to shot my last shots. And visited the bottom of the sea. This game, obviously the enemy battleship is going to die, the other battleship is damaged as well as the cruiser, but we have one AFK. So you can obviously guess how it's going to be when you have one battleship against 3 ships. This was lost for us. I'm going to just for the fun show you the end of it. I thank you for watching, and we're going to see each other into, I guess maybe in cruiser, maybe destroyer, but I'm really bad at destroyer. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.